Critical Drinker, these things are fuel for 1,000 nightmares. And I hadn't realized that the trailer for Snow White, a theatrical trailer, was released. And, well, in that trailer, I think I can show parts of that trailer, but I wanted to talk about the Dwarves in this case. Let's see, a new trailer for Snow White live action. I cannot play this. I cannot really play this, but I cannot because Disney is immediately going to is copywriting YouTubers left and right everywhere, because they don't like us talking about this, talking ill of Rachel Zegler. Rachel Zegler is the only one who has the chance to talk bad about the movie, because, well, she has basically tanked the movie. And after seeing this trailer, I'm sure that this is going to, as I said on X, this is going to bomb with the force of 1 or 10,000 suns. Okay, this I'm going to mute it just in case, because it's this was my father's kingdom, whatever. Okay, she's with her father. This is what I tell you, that for the relevance that was Snow White for Disney as a company, I mean, Walt Disney made this huge bet. It's like Elon Musk's bets when he got the paycheck from selling PayPal. It is my understanding that he got $180 million. It was 100 million into SpaceX. It was 70 million into Tesla, and it was 10 million into Solar City, if I remember correctly. So he put everything at stake. He made a bet of 180 million, all that he had. And the same was Walt Disney with the original Snow White. So with such a big thing and such a monstrous and huge a part of our childhood that they created, they're going to do a remake of the movie that started it all. It looks cheap. It looks like something that anybody could do in their backyard with a huge enough green screen. I mean, there are people that have done in their computers something better than this. This looks flat. This looks absolutely flat. I'm going to show you the whole frame, just in case. It looks flat. And we were talking about this yesterday, in the sense that, you know, that then when these productions are rushed, this looks very bad. I mean, do you remember the Harry Potter movies? Those effects, even from the first movie. How long was that ago? That was ages ago, and it looked much better than this. This looks flat. These textures look flat, unfinished. How did they make this ceiling? Like, it's like flat. There's no texture in it at all. Oh, it has been maybe they were going for a stylized. How do you say that? Stylized. How do you pronounce? Stylized. Let's see how much of stylized. If it is consistent, that is stylized. A place of fairness. Blah blah blah. All right. For example, it's like the floors. The floors lack texture. The background is rather flat as well. This looks cheap. I mean, for all the money has Disney, and all the money that they should be powering on this looks okay. The Queen's lair look fine. Was better. Has depth. Okay, not depth. I don't know how to pronounce that. That is always been a problem, you know.
Depth.
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 Depth. Has depth. Oh, is that so? Am I saying that correctly? Has depth. 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 This English makes no sense. At least it has some depth. Feels three-dimensional. Also lacks texture. Those textures are flat. Those walls are flat, but at least has some, I don't know, atmosphere to that. They did it a bit better in this one. You see what else? This was the Castle of the Queen. I need to see this. I need to ramp up my. You're gonna see my face more illuminated because this is so gloomy. I guess that is the idea, to see the Castle of the Queen gloomy. You see the motif of the Castle of the Queen is the green. Okay, remember that we have mentioned that a couple times. They bring this guy to her, and he's also wearing green, which makes me think that he is some sort of, he's going to cooperate with her at some point. Oh, Gal Gadot, how have you begun? And this is the fairest. This is the fairest of them all. This is the fairest of them all. That kingdom. I don't know. That kingdom is quite cheap. This is Temu kingdom, a kingdom from Temu. If this is the fairest one, and this guy absolutely is going to double cross her. Is cross or double cross? I never remember that. The people need some kindness. Oh my God, yeah. Maybe you could show some kindness to Trump voters, to MAGA. Why didn't you give some kindness to MAGA, Rachel, or Snow White, or whoever your name is? Gal Gadot, gorgeous as ever. This shot is nice. I would say that this shot was nice. Has a lot more texture. There's a lot more going on without being overwhelming. There's a nice texture in the window. There's a nice texture in the dress of the Queen without being overwhelming. There's even a texture in areas where it is not necessary, but it's just a nice touch. And for example, the way that the crown has those colors, that's what I mean. You don't have to need a carnival. You don't have to be Jill Biden decorating the White House in Christmas. No, you can have taste. You can have taste. And in this case, the nice mix of tones in the background. This was a nice shot. So far, one of my favorite shots of this trailer. This could work. This is what I mean. Again, a nice back and forth shot. A lot of texture. The framing is okay-ish, I guess. I think that she's Snow White is a bit forced to the left. No comments. No comments. But nice background. Okay. Disney, blah, blah, blah. There's no special. Oh, there was no special Disney logo. Just a plain Disney logo with a castle, and that's it. That's odd. Okay. Regular Snape shot. I call this a Snape shot. Just someone with a cape. And this is what I tell you. This is the Castle of the Queen looks way more elaborate in terms of a set. You see that the cape has a texture. The walls are interesting without being overwhelming. You have a color palette, which is very subtle. It's not all over the place. Has color, but very limited. A rather limited palette, and with all the lights and shadows, it looks quite well. It looks quite good. These shots. That's what I was telling you yesterday, that sometimes some shots are done by one studio, other shots are done by other studio, one sets or digital sets are done by one studio in, I don't know, Singapore, others in Canada, and they just have to feed all this at the same time. And sometimes you have script changes. I don't know what kind of script changes do you need for a movie that has already been made, but you know that this is not the same story, that Snow White is going to save herself because she needs no man, because she's in power. This looks like straight out of a Diablo game. They could have put more effort in this. And one thing that that really just broke me, and I said, no way, it was I know that you want to be faithful to the original. You want to be faithful to the original, but this was, I mean, extremely cheap. This is as cheap as you can get. You have to do something that it is a homage to the original, but doesn't look cheap. And this looks like something that first class in 3D design. No, this was horrible. The mirror face was horrible. That just completely broke everything to that point. Again, no complaints about Gal Gadot's dress. They're gonna become friends, but he's wearing green. He's gonna betray you. He's a traitor. This kind of shots, I analyzed this some time ago. But how is Snow White walking this? There's nobody around. The queen is looking at her. You see that the queen is looking at her. There it is. I look at you, and it looks flat. There's nobody in there. Like nobody, literally nobody. How is it possible that it's nobody in there? It's broad daylight, and what is she doing there? Why is Snow White alone in there? And this is what I told you when we analyzed this. Flat, right? This was done by another studio. And you see, just to be extra picky, that the blocks that the castle is made of is like they are painted. There's no even a relief then. There's no relief. There's no texture. They look like flat. That they were painted with a crayon. You see? It's like a repeated texture, completely flat. This was really cheap. This shot was really cheap. You see? Oh, my dear. Look at you. I just want to be blah, blah, blah. No, you don't want to be. You don't want to be like her. Nobody's going to believe that. That's the. Nobody's going to believe what movies is Snow White. Nobody's going to believe that Gal Gadot. Nobody's going to believe that Gal Gadot wants to be this. You know that there's a term called suspension of disbelief. I go to watch, I don't know, maybe Bad Boys. Bad Boys. What you gonna do? I go to watch Bad Boys or The Fast and the Furious. And I know that these people are going to defy the laws of physics. I remember one scene from the original Fast and Furious. I don't remember the Fast and Furious, the first one, when Toretto goes into his home and he has been modifying this black car. I don't remember if it was a Mustang or which car it was. And it was the time to, use the car that has been modifying. And I don't know if he opens the garage doors or he smashes the garage doors, but he does something that is impossible, which is that he does a wheelie, and he's also, at the same time, the wheels are spinning on its place, okay? Like he's drifting. I mean, if you do a wheelie, if because of too much traction, if the wheels are spinning in its place, is because they lack traction. You cannot have both things at the same time, but we were so excited by that point in the movie that we absolutely bought that and we're just hyping it. Yeah, go, run, go for it, Toretto. Suspension of disbelief. Okay, when you think about it, wait a second, that is simply, the physics will slap you in the face if you try to, but this How are you going to believe this? How are you going to believe that the queen wants to be like, well, Rachel? I mean, to be fair, they try to make her extra, I don't know, unappealing in this to make that contrast. But isn't she meant to be the fairest? The fairest. Maybe if it was the queen when she's like a witch, okay, that would make sense. This shot was nice. The shot was nice. To give the pass. This is the kind of things. Okay, the queen is evil. This box looks like, oh, I'm going to buy some souvenirs of the movie Snow White on AliExpress. And you get this from AliExpress. This looks cheap plastic. This doesn't look like, I don't know, maybe they wanted to, some kind of marble box of, what is this made of? Or wood, marble, or not metal, of course, or this looks plastic. This looks plastic. I mean, really cheap. Really cheap. I'm going to be extra picky because we know how much money Disney has and how many details. The queen is evil, being free into the woods. Or you go into the woods and you will be free. And she goes down the rabbit hole and she runs on March 21. On March 21 was just a long. I already spoke about this shots. The shots where this one was okay. I would say that I'm not gonna be that bad. I'm gonna say that this was okay. Okay, the stylized animals. The stylized animals, maybe that is the stick, but they seem out of place. You have a live action thing, and you remember how perfect were those animals in the Lion King live action. I mean, the Lion King live action was a technologically impressive, but this, I don't know. They all the animals look as plastic as Rachel Zegler, so maybe that was the idea. She looks plastic, so they needed to look plastic as well. I mean, how is it possible? Do you remember that for the original Snow White, I say you remember, maybe you don't know, that Walt Disney had to develop this special technology so you have the many planes in which that you have those depth effect, okay, of going in. It was just amazing. How can you make that with today's technology and make it look cheap? How is that possible? I don't understand. This one looks, I don't know. This is a problem. Okay, this shot was nice. This set was nice. This is an interesting set. You have a lot of things. You have like some wood chopped in here. You see the light coming in. This was nice. This is what it tells you. Okay, this scene is important because she's entering the house of the dwarves, and the house of the dwarves is nicely rendered and designed. It looks like a house in which people live. That is important. There's a bit of a mess on the table. There's a lot of texture in the table. There's a lot of texture in everything. They put work into this. This is what I like to see. There's an actual work, and I'm going to say it. Snow White doesn't look out of place here. Okay, she is human. She's a human. She is in a fantasy world, but she doesn't look out of place. This is what I tell you, that if you want to make things right, you have to make sure. Okay, there comes the dwarves. This is great design. You see that you have many steps and they are carved, and every step has a slightly different carving, and you have like this this like this plant design, and you have tiny imperfections. That is good set design. That is good set design. That is the House of the Dwarves is extremely well made. Was a staple, as a classic shot of them. She enters here and she falls asleep on the beds of the dwarves. Again, no complaints about this. The lighting is great. I don't remember if this was an actual shot from the original. And the fact that we have the wide angle shot. Why precisely these three beds are together? We don't know. We don't know. We move forward. Then one of the dwarves arrive, and this is my biggest complaint. This is my biggest complaint. This. This is my biggest complaint. You know how important it is for us. Faces are. We have a dedicated part in our brains to read faces, to decode them, to recognize them, to read, to everything. And we know when something looks odd. It's important, of course. We're looking at a fantasy character, but that fantasy character needs something that is very important, needs expression in their eyes. And what I see in most of the shots is that they did like the homework in many ways. The beard looks amazing. The clothes, I'm sure that it's amazing. I'm sure that the animation is also amazing. It's going to feel like the dwarves from the original. But the eyes, Chico, the eyes never lie. The eyes lack something. The eyes lack something. This is a problem. And if the eyes lack something, this is supposed to be a surprise expression. This is supposed to be a surprise expression. I mean, the people who animated these faces seem to not have an idea how a surprise expression looks. The artists who draw the original expressions of the dwarves in the original movie were ages forward, of how to say that, beyond this. This is not it. Okay? And they all, like, we have to suppose that they have just realized. And why, if he's surprised, why Doc has this expression? This expression makes no sense. It's like, I want to think that this is unfinished, and they still have to polish the expressions for the final movie, because the expressions are absolutely rough. Absolutely rough. Okay, they're supposedly bumping into each other. And you don't see that physicality. I mean, the original had more physicality. There was more, a better animation to it. You have to feel that they are bumping. This shot was nice. Rachel Zegler looks nice in here, I have to say it. And they begin to scream. And no, we are screaming. And let's see. And why Dopey just points with his hand, doesn't have an expression, and just runs away, like turning around with his arm extended. What is this? Oh no, this is no. I'm going to jump forward. Okay, this is the kind of things that are a bit hard, or really hard to do in 3D. You see the flesh. This is the kind of thing that I tell you, these people are putting the work in the wrong place. You have to start with the expression, you have to start with the physicality, you have to start with the actual acting, the body language, and then details like this. Look how the flesh squashes against the floor. That is extremely difficult. That is technically impressive. I'm impressed by that because that is technically very good. It was really well made, but it lacks what you need, which is the actual expression. What is this? Okay, he is angry. And what the hell is happening here? I mean this. There's no emotion whatsoever. That's why they look so uncanny. That's why they look so off-putting. They should be having emotions, any kind of emotions, and the eyes are lifeless. There's a bit more of an intention here, much better. Much better as well. And well, oh my God, this is going to bomb so hard. What do you think I was? A ghost? Oh my God, this is the kind of jokes that we have. It's a human. What do you think I was? A ghost. And yeah, her face is. Oh no, we already reviewed the dance. You'll be safe from the queen here. Nice, but the queen has other plans. The flat cast. This is what I'm telling you. This looks flat. I mean, I can do this like in 5 minutes in a cave with a box of scraps. How do you make a castle look so plain after we saw the house of the dwarves inside? We saw the layer of the queen inside. There was some intention of design, and this is lazy. This is lazy. Even the logo of the queen is really lazy. This looks like I don't know. This looks like some kind of I cannot say it. I cannot say it in this show. I'm not going to say what this looks like, but the logo. Well, that logo with those looks. It's like 3 fingers. I'm just going to leave it there. Like 3 fingers. Okay, maybe the queen means business with that. I would be scared. I would be scared with the dwarves as well. I would be more scared of the dwarves than of the queen. Okay, the classic story. This is terrible. Blame Snow White, blah blah blah. We already saw all this. All this we have already seen all this. All this part we have already seen it. So I think it's gonna bomb.